No DQ Galaxy, we are live with a recap of Monday Night Raw for October 7th, 2024, coming off the WWE Bad Blood Premium Live event, the first 2-hour Raw on USA Network in about 12 years. And it will be this way now until the end of the USA Network era. We'll see what happens when WWE goes over to Netflix. Apparently, nothing is set in stone. Now, chat room, let me know your thoughts on the 2-hour Raw. Did you enjoy it more than a 3-hour Raw? Are you missing 3 hours of Monday Night Raw? Let me know. Give me your thoughts. Let's get to the show. We opened with Sexy Red, who has made some appearances on NXT. Here she was on Raw to open up the show. We had the Bad Blood video package. And then we had CM Punk limping to the ring. He was bandaged up. He was hurting from Hell in a Cell. He said he was in no condition to be there or even walk to the ring. He said he didn't feel like he had won against Drew McIntyre. He had some people to thank. He thanked his ride or die CM Punk fans. He thanked his peers. And he also thanked the people that didn't like him at all. And he told them to keep doubting him. With that being said, Punk told fans that he was going to be going home for a bit. And just as he was leaving, Seth freaking Rollins came out on the stage and had a little face-off with Punk, obviously continuing to tease their eventual storyline, probably going to be their WrestleMania match. The promo itself was fine. It was basically to write off CM Punk for the time being. I think we all figured he would not be at Crown Jewel, considering it's Saudi Arabia, and Punk has been critical about Saudi Arabia shows in the past. It would make him look like a bit of a hypocrite if he wrestled in Saudi Arabia. So he's gone for a while. He's selling Hell in a Cell. Also, no Drew McIntyre on this show, obviously selling the impact of Hell in a Cell, and we'll see what happens for him next, where he ends up being, whether it's Raw or SmackDown. Does he show up at the Rumble? Does he take the rest of the year off? That remains to be seen. We had Seth Rollins coming to the ring, so we had a second promo in this opening segment, and he said the sooner CM Punk comes back, the sooner he can kick Punk's ass. He talked about some of the recent events while he was gone, and then he brought up Bronson Reed and said that they could do the match anywhere, anytime that Reed chooses, but next time Rollins will be ready. And then at this point, Jey Uso came out there, and that set up our first match of the evening. Jey Uso versus Xavier Woods. Match was very basic. Xavier Woods was getting some boos, and he dominated almost the entire match. After the commercial break, Xavier tried to finish off Jey with the springboard elbow drop, but Jey popped up, caught him with the super kick, and then Jey pinned Xavier with the Uso splash. Clean 1, 2, 3. And then after the match, Jey Uso helped up Xavier Woods. Kofi Kingston was there. Jey went for a handshake, but Xavier declined. Woods left the ring, and then out of nowhere, Braun Breaker showed up and speared Jey, and Kofi Kingston wanted to help out, but Xavier told him not to. Yet that did not stop Kofi. He got in the ring and he paid for it. He got speared, and then Xavier pulled Kofi out of the ring only to get the super spear from Braun, and then Braun went in the ring. One more spear to Jey Uso. Now, I'm a little confused here. They set up the Braun Breaker babyface turn last week, felt like it was the right move, and now he's back to being a heel again. Okay. I guess they decided not to pull the trigger on the face turn. I don't know why. Very strange to me why they decided to backtrack on the babyface turn. I thought it was going to work, but whatever. They even teased Braun Breaker versus Gunther. So they must have had a change of plans. And I guess maybe Braun Breaker wins back the title if they're going to do the Bloodline Civil War. I don't know. I'm very confused. Wasn't sure what the purpose of this was. Shout out to Hamp Connell, who sent in a $9.99 super chat. Thank you for that, Hamp. I appreciate it. We have some 4-week Today in History. Part 1 from 2002. After Kane won a number 1 contenders match, one of the most controversial angles in WWE kicked off with Triple H asking the question, how happy is Katie Vick? I'm excited for, well, maybe that's the wrong choice of words. I'm intrigued about the next Today in History, if this is the start of the Katie Vick storyline, the classic Katie Vick storyline. Man, that was quite the storyline with Triple H and Kane in 2002. That was the Triple H reign of terror. But anyways, thank you, Hamp, for the super chat. I very much appreciate it. I look forward to the next one. And yes, thank you for bringing up Katie Vick and reminding us of it. Thank you for that, Hamp. All right, back to this week's Raw. We had some footage, Triple H talking about Crown Jewel, and we also had a tweet shown from Triple H about the Kevin Owens attack on Cody Rhodes, which WWE did not film. They just shot the angle outside of the building. They knew fans would be recording it, and I guess it was done to give it some more realism. But yeah, we're going to find out more about that, I guess, on Friday SmackDown. There were some technical issues as Cody Rhodes was shown entering the building. And then we had The Miz backstage with Karrion Kross. And I guess the technical difficulties were attributed to the Wyatts because the Wyatt screen popped up. I guess that means they're targeting The Miz, or they're targeting the Final Testament, which is what I thought they were going to do in the first place. So R-Truth confronted The Miz, and he had to tell The Miz that he wasn't in Judgment Day anymore. He doesn't understand why Miz attacked him, but Miz made it clear it was not an accident or misunderstanding. He said, "Awesome Truth is done," and then he challenged R-Truth to a match for next week and left with Karrion Kross. WWE, as I'm recording this live stream, WWE is taping next week's Raw because they are going to Europe next week, and they decided to not have Raw take place live in Europe for whatever reason. Results should be up on No DQ most likely by the time this stream wraps up, or maybe shortly afterwards. So check out NoDQ.com for the spoilers. I will not be doing a live stream of next week's Raw per the pre-taped show. I'm going to take Monday off. It's been a busy month, so it'll be nice to actually have a night off from recapping Monday Night Raw. That doesn't happen too often. In fact, I can't even remember the last time I took off a Raw on a Monday night. Maybe if it was one of those Christmas shows. So we had Sheamus versus Pete Dunne in a good old-fashioned Donnybrook match, which was a fairly standard no DQ match, but we did have a couple of highlights in this one. So each of them had their weapons, the shillelagh and the cricket bat, but they opted to just fight with their fists in the beginning, and then they fought on the outside. You had that bar, you had some barrels with whiskey in them, apparently. Anyways, Dunn climbed up to one of the barrels, and Sheamus went after him with the shillelagh, and then Sheamus gave Pete Dunne the 10 beats, followed by the white noise. Gave him the white noise off the barrel through 2 tables below. This was a crazy bump. Maybe the coolest thing on the entire show. The crowd went crazy for this. They chanted, "Holy shit." They chanted, "This is awesome." And then they got back in the ring. And Sheamus hit the razor's edge. Dunn kicked out of that. And then Dunn regained control, used the cricket bat, but Sheamus kicked out. And then Dunn went to the bar that was on the outside. He grabbed some zip ties and prevented Sheamus from using his arms with the zip ties. But Sheamus somehow managed to kick out of a running knee, or get his shoulder up, I should say. Just got his shoulder up, and then Dunn tried to finish him off, but Sheamus, despite not having the usage of his hands, managed to hit the bro kick and score the 1-2-3 victory. Thumbs up, another banger from Sheamus, always delivering. He is definitely one of the most underrated guys as far as I'm concerned. Sheamus always manages to deliver. We had Cody Rhodes backstage, and he was asked about the incident with Pete Dunne, or not Pete Dunne, the incident with Kevin Owens, but Cody decided to not comment on that. He said he was there to find out what it takes to become the first crown jewel champion. And then Cody met with Sami Zayn, wished Zayn some luck for the main event, the World Championship match. And then we had Ethan Page from NXT backstage with Adam Pearce. He was upset about CM Punk being the referee last week for the NXT title match. And Pearce, who was there with Ava, said that Ava was the one who made the call for Punk to be the referee, not him. And then Sexy Red showed up, and it was just an excuse, I think, to get Ethan Page on the show, maybe tease him eventually becoming part of Raw or SmackDown. I could see that happening relatively quickly, just because he's been in the business for a hot minute. He doesn't really need to be in NXT, if I'm being honest here. Like, he could be on the main roster now. We had a video package with Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed. Neither of them were on the show to sell the impact of their last Monster Standing match. Now, earlier in the show, Rhea Ripley did a little video promo, and she's going to be on Raw next week, so they basically kept her off this week's show. Raquel arrived. She drove Liv and Dominic into the building. Jackie Redmond asked them about if Raquel was in Judgment Day, but Liv would not answer, and then they just left. So they arrived, got interviewed, declined to comment, and then left. Okay. Weird segment here, but fine. I guess with the 2-hour show, you just had to do some little quick segment to get them on TV. We had Unholy Union, speaking of just trying to get people on TV and cram them into a 2-hour show, this was like AEW where we had the one women's match at 9:20. The one women's match of the evening, although they'll make up for it next week. Spoiler alert. Unholy Union and the Pure Fusion Collective. Somebody on Twitter and X had a good line. No Pop Collective. That should be their name. 10-woman tag team match, them against Natalya, Zelina Vega, Lyra Valkyria, and Katana Chance, Kaden Carter. Basic tag match. Things broke down, then order was restored. Then things broke down again. And then it was Sonya Deville and Zelina in the ring. Lyra tagged in when Zelina was in trouble, and Sonya did not see the tag. Then Lyra came off the top with a leg drop and pinned Sonya 1, 2, 3. I mean, Pure Fusion Collective, it is DOA. Instead of PFC, it is DOA. There's really no hope for this group at this point. The music is terrible. As I mentioned earlier, no Pop Collective. They don't get the reactions. Like, there's just no reason to care about them whatsoever. They announced that Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill will defend the tag team titles against Damage Control next week. And they also showed an alternate Crown Jewel poster. So earlier in the day, WWE posted their poster for Crown Jewel. And it included Cody Rhodes and Gunther, even though Gunther was set to defend against Sami Zayn. And I'm thinking to myself, well, you basically just threw Sami Zayn under the bus. I mean, not that anybody ever thought Zayn had a chance of winning, but the poster pretty much confirms it. But then, of course, they had to show the poster with Zayn instead of Gunther as the alternative. Nice try, guys. If anything, I thought the presence of Bill Goldberg at Bad Blood did more to create doubt for this match than anything else, because when they announced the Crown Jewel match, I'm like, Cody Rhodes versus Gunther, don't really want to see either guy lose that one. But if you had Goldberg cost Gunther, you could do Gunther versus Goldberg at Crown Jewel, and then Sami Zayn could win his world title, go into Saudi Arabia as champion, and, you know, he can lose to Cody Rhodes and then drop the title, but he gets his feel-good moment. So they could have done that, but here's what happened. It was Sami Zayn in control early on, and then Gunther dominated after the commercial break. Zayn made his comeback, hit the Blue Thunder Bomb, and won the world title. No, I'm kidding. He did not win the world title with the Blue Thunder Bomb. We had another commercial break, and Zayn took Gunther to the outside, hit the Exploder suplex into the barricade, and then took out Gunther with a haluva kick on the outside. But, of course, he had to get him back in the ring. He struggled, so he had to beat the referee's 10 count. He finally got Gunther back in the ring, hit a second one, and then went for a third one, haluva kick, but Gunther was able to counter with a lariat. He powerbombed Zayn. Zayn kicked out of it. So then Gunther hit a second powerbomb, and Zayn kicked out at 1. He had that burst of adrenaline that we see from guys like Will Ospreay, and crowd popped for it. They thought Zayn had a chance. Gunther was shocked, so he then applied the sleeper hold. Zayn fought, and he almost got out of it, but then he finally collapsed. Referee called off the match. Gunther, still your world champion, winning the match clean, getting his payback from WrestleMania 30. It was a good match, but I agree with the chat room. Way too many commercials, not just this match, but the entire show. It felt like they had to recoup their ad money since it's 2 hours instead of 3 hours. So they're like, okay, let's just throw in more commercials in that 2-hour period. I don't know. It just felt to me like there were way more commercials than your usual episode of Raw. And then after the match was over, Cody Rhodes came out there and celebrated with Gunther. So no real surprise. They're doing the match at Crown Jewel. I did think there is a way for Cody to lose, and that's Kevin Owens. Maybe Kevin Owens costs Cody that champion versus champion match. Gunther should not be losing. I really don't think he should be losing until WrestleMania. And really, Cody shouldn't be either, but with the Kevin Owens storyline, you can go that route with the interference. I mean, who cares if there's interference in that match? I mean, nobody cares about the Crown Jewel title, so whatever. Overall, 2 hours. I do feel more energized than I usually do because I have that extra hour. But the show really wasn't anything too special. In a way, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but I feel like the 3-hour Raws were ideal at this point in time with the size of the roster, giving everybody a chance to shine. You know, this show felt very rushed. And in a way that works because it moves things along. But at the same time, it also is a struggle to tell stories. And instead of telling interesting stories with characters, like with Judgment Day, you just throw them out there in this little quick segment that really doesn't accomplish anything. So in a way, it's almost a negative. I really enjoyed the Donnybrook match. That was, to me, the highlight of the show. Zayn and Gunther was very good, but again, too many commercial breaks kind of brought it down. I give the show, I'm going to go a B-. I thought it was solid, but definitely not a home run by any means. It was fine. It was a fairly standard WWE show, on par with some of the recent SmackDowns. Not great, but not a bad show by any means. It was solid. Next week, tape show, so I will not be doing a recap. I do have a lot of content coming up this week, though. Dynamite is Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern will be Dynamite start time. Or actually, I think it's 9, so I'm going to be on late for that one. I'll be on after Dynamite Tuesday night, 11:05, 11:10, somewhere around there, depending on what they do for an overrun. And then Wednesday night at 8, Dynamite's usual time slot, we will be doing predictions for Wrestle Dream, which is this Saturday. And of course, I will be doing the live coverage on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel of Wrestle Dream. So stay tuned for all that. And my best wishes to everybody in Florida with the hurricane coming up. I know Matthew's in Florida. Dwayne, who's been on the channel, is in Florida. So hang in there, everybody. Stay safe out there. And stay tuned to NoDQ.com for all the latest news and rumors. Check out the spoilers on NoDQ. Have a great week, everyone. Be safe. Take care. Say yes to NoDQ.com. And I will see you all next time.